some of these mocks, let's get into them here. Todd Mcshea.
Oh, Todd Mcshea. By the way, I watched a little snippet of his. He looks so much better.
He does.
He's doing better. I mean, you can tell he's coherent again. His jowls look better. The whole thing. Mcshea, the Mcshea comeback tour. It's on. It's on.
And I'm glad, because this time of year you need somebody to be able to balance Mel. Todd. So he's got Aiden Hutchinson of the Michigan Wolverines, the defensive end, going to Jacksonville, number 1 overall. And they're not going to need another tackle once they trade for Lyle Collins. So it's going to make a lot of sense. They've already got their 2 bookend tackles there. So the Cowboys will end up getting the 33rd or the 34th pick, their second-round pick. That's my trade that I'm putting out in the universe for LC. Number 2, he's got a safety, Kyle Hamilton of Notre Dame. And Kyle Hamilton's a beast, don't get me wrong. It's just so rare these days that we see a safety going this high unless they're just an absolute animal. But Kyle Hamilton's drawing a lot of comparisons to Justin Simmons, who's maybe one of the best safeties in all of the NFL from the Broncos. But he's got the Lions taking him at 2. Now, let's jump down to some of these NFC East teams, because the Giants and Eagles have a lot of picks. You got the Giants at 5, taking Trayvon Walker, the outstanding defensive end from Georgia. He then has them at 7, taking Garrett Wilson, first wide receiver off the board from Ohio State. Then Washington at 11 takes Devin Lloyd, linebacker out of Utah from the Washington Commanders. And then the Eagles have their first of their set of picks. He has them taking Derek Stingley, Todd Mcshea, that is, the corner out of LSU, at 15.
He's an interesting one because he was so dominant. Then he takes the year off, and now he's like coming off the injury and stuff. Like it's a weird deal with him. Skipped the combine because of the injury, but you know that the talent is just off the charts there. Going to be interesting.
He is sliding down boards, which makes me wonder, does he even have a chance to sneak to the Cowboys at 24? Because that would be one you'd have to consider. I mean, there was tape of him as a true freshman going toe-to-toe in practice, battling Jamar Chase. So you know Stingley is really good. At 16, the Eagles would take David Ajabo, the defensive end out of Michigan. I would not like this. They're getting 2 really good players right there. And then at 19, with their 3rd pick in the first round, they'd take Chris Olave, the safety the wide receiver out of Ohio State, according to Mcshea. All 3 good picks for the Eagles. I mean, they've got a chance to all of a sudden really retool if they can hit on these picks.
Well, my guess with the Eagles is, and you've already seen them trying to do the wheeling and dealing like they were trying to go get Calvin Ridley, stuff like that. We know that Harry Roseman and those guys like the trade aspect. They're aggressive with that stuff. They are the one team that I feel most confident is going to be doing some, whether it's draft night or in lead up to the draft, doing some moving around.
The Cowboys at 24 overall. Todd Mcshea has them selecting.
Please say a line.
It is defensive line. George Karlaftis, the defensive end for Purdue, who is a good player, but it is not an offensive lineman. He has them passing on Tyler Linderbaum, the center from Iowa, and Kenyon Green, the guard from Texas A&M, to select George Karlaftis. I just don't think the Cowboys would do it. I think from all the buzz we've heard from the Combine, they are very committed to, yes, the trenches, but specifically rebuilding this offensive line to get it back to where it was. But George Karlaftis is a nice player. Mcshea writes, Dallas needs to decide where it wants to play Parsons. Does it want to keep him off the edge, where he excelled with 13 sacks, or does it want to return him to his true position at linebacker and let him impact the game in even more ways and potentially be better than he was his rookie year? Either way, the Cowboys could use more pass rushing support with Gregory and Armstrong going to be free agents. Karlaftis has the ability to transition his quick takeoff burst into power and bull rush opponents, and he'd be an immediate contributor for one of the league's best defenses.
My favorite part about this guy, other than the fact that he's pretty dang athletic, like when you look at what he did at the Combine, it was strong. But I believe he was born in Greece. He lived in Greece until he was 13 years old. He didn't know what a first down was until he was like a junior in high school. He's
a very raw player, yeah.
Which is exciting when you think about like the ceiling for a guy like that. And he got a buttload of pressures and all that kind of stuff. So, mean, listen, would I be like super upset about it? No, especially if you're going to be getting rid of DeMarcus Lawrence. And who knows what happens with Randy Gregory. Like the pass rush help, like you're going to need that for sure. So if that's the route you want to go, that's a premium position. I'm all about taking premium positions, and pass rusher is definitely one of them. So I'd be fine with it. Ultimately, I like the idea of getting an O-lineman, but getting a pass rusher, it's not the end of the world.
I think if Trevor Penning, the tackle out of Northern Iowa, is there at 24, he will be the Cowboys selection. That's my projection right now. I think that's the guy that they like a lot.
I know Broadus is he's been preaching that a little bit.
Yeah, I think we've gotten some buzz, some intel that might be a target of theirs if he's available. He's huge. He's from Northern Iowa, so you got to kind of try and juxtapose playing the lesser opponents into your projections here. But he was a stud at the Senior Bowl, and apparently he interviewed very well at the Combine. The other mocks here with Calvin Watkins in the Morning News, he's got the Cowboys taking Devin Lloyd, the linebacker out of Utah, who is a stud. I just don't see being there, but maybe because his combine was a little bit underwhelming. He's 6'3", 237 pounds, and he did 25 reps on the bench press. He's got 33-inch arms. He's got an ability to cover tight ends and running backs. I mean, there's an argument, is he the best linebacker in the draft? He just had success taking Micah Parsons. Devin Lloyd's a player that I like a lot, so I wouldn't be upset because I think the player's good. The guys that they're passing on here, Zion Johnson out of Boston College, who I think would be a plug-and-play instant starter at left guard. Nakobe Dean, who I kind of would prefer over Lloyd, the linebacker out of Georgia at 29. They'd be passing on him as well. And then Bernard Raymond, the tackle out of Central Michigan, was also on the board. Lance Zierlein's got the Cowboys taking Traelin Burks, the wide receiver out of Arkansas, at 24. And I've said this, there's a receiver that I'd love the Cowboys to be able to get. It'd probably be Traelin Burks. I'm just a big fan of his game, man.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's fun to watch. He gives you, he's bigger, and he reminds you, though, of a guy that could probably be used similar to like a Deebo Samuel. He's so good after the catch. He's big. He's strong. He's got enough speed. He's got some shake to him, and I say he's got enough speed. His game speed is much better than even like what he ran in the 40, because I think he ran, I don't know if you have the exact number, but it wasn't overly impressive.
He underwhelmed with his 40 time. They were expecting him to be one of the fastest. I think he ran like a 4.4.
I think it was been lower. I think it was a 4.5 something. And so, but there's plenty of elite wide receivers who have run a 4.5 or worse. Like,
that's a guy who plays much faster on film.
Mike Evans ran 4.53. Devontae Adams ran a 4.56. Des Bryant ran a 4.52. Keenan Allen ran a 4.71. And then even CeeDee Lamb was a 4.5 flat guy. So I don't really get too concerned with it. A lot of people were talking about that after the combine, like, oh my gosh, he's not even all that fast. And it's like, okay, you can clearly watch him on tape and know that he's fast. He's a big dude, strong. I like him a lot. And he's going to get the Arkansas bump, you would imagine. The Joneses are going to like that quite a bit.
Right. Absolutely. You'd think that they're going to.
And they'll probably get an inside scouting report from John Steven, who's on that roster.
They should. They should get all the intel there from John Steven, who knows all the hogs. He's calling the hogs right now. As Traelin Burks, that's the reason he's probably going to be available at 21 years old, 6'3", 225, because he did underperform. Didn't run the 40 very, very well. And I'm sure at his pro day, I think they actually just had it yesterday. I don't think he ran the 40 again yesterday, but he looked much better in his position drills than he did at the combine, is what he's reading basically from what his combine workout was.